Well, this is the bedtime story. I don't think I'm gonna do a prayer tonight. I've been in the mood for it lately. I got to be feeling it. The good news is that when I went to bed a couple hours ago, the wind was fighting me, getting wrapped up properly. I can tell that I've really got to decide on some sort of way of configuring this big sleeping bag, putting really all of the blankets inside, tacking them, stitching them into it with mylar sheets for water. I've got a design in my head. I just have to figure out how to do it. Uh, well, especially during daytime. I need to do it during the daytime when it's warm, and I know where to do it. Right in that parking lot over there. Nobody ever parks back there. There's no real traffic. If I get back off in that corner, nobody will bother me. But with continuing cold weather, it's because when I laid down, I found out I had a lump like right under my rib cage. I kept fighting it and fighting it. It kept me awake. Plus, I was dying to see the end of the Joel and Ethan Coen movie Hail Caesar with Josh Brolin, and I do love my movies. I think that's probably why me and Cass Comerford would always be fast friends, is because I can tell he loves the movies too. He loves cinema with a passion, all types. I've mentioned that one of my favorite is one that very few people have ever seen. I have mentioned it before. It appears to be real cinema verite, but it's not. The lady that made it was just pure genius. The good news I have to report is that compared to when I struggled to get everything laid out and get wrapped in blankets and get in, the wind was around 20 miles an hour, and now it's slowed down to, let me give a puff. It's slowed down to about 3 to 5 miles an hour. So wind's not probably not going to be a factor tonight. It's going to get cold. It's going to get down in the low 30s, but I'm warm and toasty. And at least I've got a plan for tomorrow, which is a quilting needle and monofilament. And I think just 4 layers of blankets and mylar will turn this sleeping bag into a super bag. That'll still leave me at least one blanket left over for a pillow or something. Yep, I've even got the cotton. Yeah, got everything I need. Uh, so I guess tomorrow it's the trip to Walmart. And let me see how many actually. It's 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, it's 5 blankets and one pure cotton one I can use as a casing on the 5th one. But 4 layers of blankets plus this sleeping bag plus, you know, 4 sheets of mylar will do it. I've got to do it because I can't count on, because I wasted about an hour trying to get that one bump that was underneath my rib cage smoothed out. It was a little painful. And I should mention before I go here that on the video where I was showing a picture of my ankle, somebody slipped in there and pretended to ask a question: how did it originally happen? I answered them without thinking to go and check their channel, and that channel was created December 14th of this year, which means it's somebody I've already blocked. They've created another channel called Radio Face, and they're just on here trying to create shit. I've told y'all that's not going to be tolerated. It's if you comment, I will be checking your channel, looking for any traces back to Hobo Shit Stain and people who, because Tom McDonald really pissed me off because I'd already mentioned that he had subscribed, clearly was a Hobo fan, unsubscribed, resubscribed, and then I blocked him, and then he subscribed again. Some reiteration or some iteration of his channel with same pictures, same. So, yeah, I know that's a pretty wild color combination going on there, but I don't give a fuck. I'm warm. It's creeping up on 11 o'clock. Things are really calming down. I should get some sleep tonight. I'll be warm. The wind won't be tearing my ass up, and I'm going to push it to the limit just like I did this morning. I did not leave until they unlocked that door and let in the first patient. The people here know they have access to my records. I still have a broken arm that they're responsible for fixing. 10.5 months now, motherfucker, I've gone without pain relief, a broken arm, and the arm's getting worse. It's getting weaker, and I'm having loss of range of motion. I'm being all serious. I'd really like to, if I could, take a minute to back up and talk about something I talked on another. Today, I devoted a good part of my time because I really needed distraction from everything. I watched The Fountain, which I've heard about that before. I think it was actually the book may have been written by Darren Aronofsky. I like Aronofsky's work. He makes it visually beautiful. I really enjoyed his movie Black Swan, which was super complicated in the psychology department. That woman was a complete mess, and as you can know, I shouldn't give you a spoiler there. I mean, it had all the elements of the gay thing with her and the girl, and the whole kind of sadomasochistic, the anorexia kind of thing, I mean, just the mental malfunction of somebody who's existing, doing heavy, you know, exercise all day long to achieve those perfect what the dancers call the lines, the body lines, and existing on just a few hundred calories a day is fucking ridiculous. Now, ballet dancers are actually great, tremendous athletes, but their obsession sometimes with dance and the whole thing is through the roof. But at least I understood Aronofsky's Black Swan. I'm branching into. I hope, Cash, you appreciate this. It's something I want to talk about more. I want to talk more about film critique. Uh, Anything to keep my mind off of the fact that that millions of people in this country are actually backing people who raped and murdered women and have they just got through murdering more hostages. So let's get off that topic. Fuck that topic. It's everybody on this planet's covering that topic. I mentioned another movie, Tom Hanks movie, that I swear it really almost ran like 3 hours. Really, it was just all over the place. I still, other than the basic thing of that Tom Hanks was in love with I guess his wife Halle Berry or something, and somehow it goes through all these generations, all these reincarnations and shit like that. I really wasn't sure what that movie was about, other than there's the obvious themes of doing the right thing and standing up to racial prejudice and all sorts of things in there. But what's really the central theme? I didn't, other than love. I mean, you know, love is a topic that's been just beat to death, and it's wasn't it some Beatle that sang about I'm tired of them same old silly love songs? Wasn't that McCartney or somebody like that? I do recommend, if y'all can get a hold of it, Julian Donkey Boy is one of my favorite movies, because the genius of the person who pretty much wrote, directed, produced, edited, I think it was a multiple award winner. And Cass Comerford, I wish your film well at Rotterdam. I hope it garners some and gets picked up for distribution. I think Cass works harder than me. But really, today I was really kind of humble when a man who's 20 years older than me pulls up, and actually I'm wondering if that was Josh, because Josh said he needed somebody to drive him, and a complete man I don't think I've ever seen before pulls up and gives me a little sweet treat, not knowing that it would make me ill. So for much of the day, compared to yesterday, I was chill most of the day, and I'm not going to repeat that. I've really got to, because the trend is going to continue. For far as they're forecasting, it's looking like another 3 or 4 days. I need to, you know, I'm not going to take the time to wash all these things beforehand. There's really not much need for that. They're compared to people who sleep on dirt and in dirty, filthy tents where they don't take their shoes off before they get in. My bedding is relatively clean, and I have come up with a design that will make it super heat retentive and moisture resistant and rain resistant, and make it super warm. I just got to figure out how I want to tack it together. I really want to do it. To tell you the truth, I want to just get one of those staple guns, because it takes so much less time in this, and just lay it out flat, laid out the sheets flat, put a little dab of super glue here and there to hold the sheets in place, make the Mylar adhere to the polyester, and then, tack them together and fold them and zip up the bag and carefully roll it up, keep it in that shape. And that's my project for tomorrow. I'm trying to think of some other movies that have really, of course, as you already know, one of my all-time favorites is another Ethan and Joel and Ethan Coen masterpiece called No Country for Old Men. If you don't like that movie, there's something wrong with you. It really embodies that stoic Texas, Central Texas, West Texas kind of manhood, and also they throw in that weird Anton Chigurh character to deal with, and that's quite a character. Javier Bardem is a great actor, and I admire him a lot more than other actors who've never altered, their facial features or any other things, and don't really. Okay, I'm going to try to do here, as the very end of this is kind of the bonus round. I'm going to try to recite from memory. I'll talk about them more in psychoanalysis and in the cinema. Let me just begin reciting the movies that are required viewing for my students in psychology. Probably number one, The Color Purple. And then here's where memory starts to fail how I order them. Girl Interrupted. Boys Don't Cry. You starting to see a pattern here? Let me see. It's The Fight Club. That's a must-watch. Those all the ones I just named are must-watch movies. And here's where we start getting into my memory late in the evening. I'll get horizontal again, but it's already without the wind chill. It's so much more comfortable, and I'm pretty well wrapped up in about 15 pounds of polyester and nylon at the moment. What will be coming in next after? Trying to think here, because I did have like 8 basic movies that were absolute must-watches. I think I've expanded them to 10. I'm having a brain fart. I may have to do a whole separate segment on that. But if you haven't seen the movies that I've already mentioned, you're behind in your film viewing. So what's coming up next? Already mentioned it. Color Purple, Girl Interrupted, Boys Don't Cry. I'm really having I mentioned another one already that's I'm drawing a blank. I know there's 3 or 4 others that are absolute must watches to study, psychosexuality, and which is we're all pretty much all sexual beings. We have gender, although some are kind of confused about their gender. And these movies all have to deal with that. And trying to think of other critical ones right now. I'm just drawing a blank. I'm wasting your time. It's creeping up on 20 minutes. I've already named several that you should watch or should have watched already by now. I'll review this tomorrow and come up with a better list. And actually, I'm kind of sorry I set up because I got a feeling now I'm going to have to. I'll see if I can calm it down. I really don't want to have to get out of this bag and go to 7-Eleven in the middle, although this is the perfect time to go drop a deuce at 7-Eleven. Be nobody around. And I can take my time without somebody knocking on the door or bugging me. But the town's pretty much dead. Oh, Brokeback Mountain. Yeah, that's an absolute must. I forgot that one. That film traumatized me, really. I watched it just before I went off to Maine for the last time, and it mentally disturbed me. Anyway, I'm well. Just had a few cheese sticks and a couple of Xanax. And I've only drank so far today. I had one medium. Well, they were all mediums. I was using large cups, but 3 medium cups of coffee only yields about, somewhere in the neighborhood of 36 to 40 something ounces. Uh, shouldn't have any problem with hyperuria. As long as I get about 3 or 4 hours sleep before I have to get up and roll in the morning, I'm good for a while. But uh, this lifestyle, I don't think the average bum could make it, because you need to really have your shit together and ready to roll by 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning at the absolute latest. And you need to leave your area as clean as possible. And the area where I sit in front of Starbucks, I usually keep that area spotless, and absolutely hate it. Today, well, just as I was beginning to nap off, a woman stopped, and I was clearly giving indications I'm trying to nap, and she came up on my right and offered me a bag of somethings. I assumed some sort of food items, and I just said, "Thank you, no," and that was it. No rudeness, just "thank you, no," and she turned and left. And I managed to get in some sleep. Had a strange dream that kind of gave me a little hope about maybe being able to, because I have had some brief periods in the last few years where I was able to walk, uh, not well, but could manage. I think I did have one day where I put in a total of 5 miles in one day, which is phenomenal for me. Of course, then I really needed pain relief after that, but what the fuck? Anyway, uh, I'll think of the other movies that are required viewing, and I'll get back to you. But I'd like to get into more film analysis and stuff, because I've seen films, although I'd have to probably review to really give a. I've seen films that most of you have never seen, like Glenn or Glenda, which was written, produced, directed by, and starring the guy who played Glenn or Glenda. It was one of the first, kind of cross-dressing movies. As I recall, it was it was shot in black and white, and there are a lot of little movies out there that are real gems and jewels. And there's one that's hilarious. I can't think of the name of it. And didn't wasn't as big a box office as it should have been. There's a lot of great movies out there that are overlooked because you know they're were created for people who have the ability to perceive what is in the movie. And the fact is that the American audience, most of them are really not bright enough to see genius on film when you know, when it's there. They just want to be entertained, and often that's not the objective of film. Is to entertain. It's to entertain, and enlighten, and educate. And I would like to kind of focus on. And one person has asked me to tell the story of my life, and I've kind of told it in bits and pieces here already, and don't know if I want to get into doing that, because that would require me to capture a lot of photographs and work them in and do a shit ton of editing to really kind of give you and entertain you and tell you the story of my life, which has to include family. And I really I'm not in possession of full control of the photographs that I do, that are legally mine. So anyway, well, it started out as a blustery, windy evening when I laid down, is turning into a calm, lovely night with minor negligible wind, and I'm plenty warm. I could very easily handled down into the 20s tonight without any really further adjustment. But tomorrow I need to get my bedding fixed up so it's one big bedroll that doesn't require any uh, you know complicated procedures, because like to put the blankets, the red and the blue blankets on it, I have to swing it like a cape, like a matador, and the wind has to be just right because my left arm doesn't work. I have to really do it perfect execution. And tonight I wasn't doing it because the wind wasn't really in my favor. I couldn't figure out how to get positioned properly to get it done in one fell swoop. It takes some skill. Anyway, it's a lovely night here in Pflugerville. My mood is good, as you can tell. And I will end with this. I always tell my best friend, I tell my students that in life, mood is everything. It really is. Mood is everything. Sometimes you need a mood enhancer or alteration, even if it's just a cigarette or a joint or a bottle of wine or some brandy or a bottle of scotch. Sometimes you really need something that is more substantial than just thinking positive. Maybe that's one area I could get in, is attacking all these health experts and all their bullshit. Who's that? Dr. Berg, who says that, yeah, I'm going to finish with this. There's a guy out there who made me sit through 20 something minutes of his bullshit and jacking himself off. When he came to the end, he was talking about, liver detox. And, your liver actually detoxes and regenerates on its own pretty damn well. And when he came to garlic, I started screaming, quack, fraud, just kept pumping it out. Of course, he controls those comments. He can make them disappear. I just wanted to fully, before telling YouTube to never recommend that channel again, I just wanted to let everybody know that you're a fucking idiot if you listen to I think he's actually a doctor of chiropractic named Berg. He was actually claiming that garlic cleanses and detoxifies the liver. That is fucking hilarious. Some of you people out there, you're just playing people for suckers. Maybe you are an idiot and don't really know any better. Or maybe you're just trying to sell something. And people who are trying to sell something, please bear in mind, I'm not selling anything here. I'm not here to get monetized. I'm not selling my autobiography. I'm not in no way trying to profit from our interaction. And if you notice, I do try to answer and talk to everybody that comments and stuff. And I'm glad I caught that guy a minute ago. He thought he was going to slip up on me, but when I check him, he created that channel on December 14th of this month, the 2023 radio face. I could just kind of tell by the question something was off. Anyway, 30 fucking minutes. That's enough. There should be a morning report in the morning, but I really wish he would switch to tea. I may have to take some tea and microwave it in the morning. I really getting tired of the tannic acid of the coffee. I do come from a tea drinking culture. So that's really what I prefer. It's low tannin and it's potent in caffeine, and I can usually get it hotter when I do it on. Anyway, 30 minutes. I thought I'd just let you know that I'll be comfortable tonight. I've had a lot of nights worse than this. I've had some nights that couldn't believe that I survived them at all, because it was, I'd be wet. It'd be below freezing, and because sometimes when you're encased, your own breath, the vapor coming out of your lungs, becomes your enemy because it accumulates in the space you've created, accumulates in your bedding, your insulation. So that's it. I just want to wish y'all, especially the people that have supported me here and have encouraged me to keep my chin up and keep a stiff upper lip. I'm doing my best. And it's just every day it's a challenge when you only got one arm and uh, are tied down by so many material possessions. I'm going to try to trim that down some more tomorrow. Remember, you don't own it, it owns you.